I mean, AI is a great tool, and I know it's getting better, as every day passes. But with something as specific, what I have found as what we do, which is community association insurance in Florida, in my experience, it's just not there yet. So Phil and I were having an off-script conversation about AI and the challenges it's presenting for our jobs in 2026. We contemplated not posting this because it could come across as a little controversial. But at the end of the day, we are nothing but transparent with our clients. And those of you that work with us, you know this. So take a look and listen, and I hope you get something out of it. So February, as we know, is my busiest month of the year with 91 renewals, right? So it's a lot. And what I have found is that for the first time ever, how difficult AI is making my life. I've noticed that, before, we're experts. We've been doing this for 20 plus years. Before, when I would say, I bid your umbrella out to 30 carriers and here's all their responses, typically the board would say, okay, yeah, you did a pretty good job. 30 carriers. We see what the responses were. You can't get any other quotes. It is what it is. But I have found now that a lot of them are starting to put their questions into ChatGPT and Copilot and all these other AIs, and they're just not believing what we're telling them. And I don't know if you're experiencing this, but it's making the manager's life difficult. It's creating a lot of confusion amongst the board.
Oh, yeah.
Because before the board would listen to the expert, whether it be the attorney, the insurance agent, the CPA, but I've been getting a lot of pushback. And This is the first time I've noticed it.
So a lot's happened. I would say in the last 6 months, this has picked up a lot. And I think if you look at society from like 20 years ago, nobody would trust their phone or the computer over they would trust your expert that you had a relationship with, right? But I think society has changed so much in that time where you rely so much on your phone. How many times? I was just watching the Super Bowl and we were like, how old is Joe Montana? And everybody's arguing about it. And I'm like, just ask the phone. The phone's like, yeah, he's 69. It's like, oh, all right. And who's right, who's wrong? But like that kind of stuff makes it very simple. The problem with that is, and what I would urge anyone watching this, when you try to apply general AI like that to a specific niche subject like community association insurance in Florida, it is not going to come close to giving you what you need. And I've seen it. So like you ask a question, it's pulling data from all over, but like there's different statutes in different states. So sometimes it's pulling something about how to handle water damage claims, but it's giving you the statute in Illinois or Washington, D.C., which is completely different than Florida's bare walls statute or whatever it might be. So the data isn't necessarily coming in correctly. So you can't 100% believe the answer you get. Same thing when you ask questions like, well, how many umbrella carriers? Well, I would say because what's happening is it's pulling personal lines information.
Yes.
So now it's telling you, there's so many carriers you can put in. People don't realize commercial insurance for condo associations is apples and cars compared to, homeowners insurance for a unit owner. It's different carriers, different markets, different everything. But AI is not looking at it that way. They're just looking like insurance markets, and it's going to bring this stuff up. So it may be pulling answers to that question that are insurance carriers that don't write in Florida, that don't write commercial policies, that are, or that wouldn't matter even if they did. There could be all kinds of things and reasons why it wouldn't work, but people get that and they push back with it. And the problem is because it's coming from
nonstop.
AI, it sounds like it's right.
Yes.
And it's like, our people are just saying this crap. And it's like, and this stuff is telling us the truth.
Or what about the time you brought this to me? You came into my office and you're like, whoa, this AI is going to cause some problems for us, because remember that one you went through where I don't know if it was new business or your renewal, and the other agent had like a really slick proposal or a bunch of
they put our
baloney.
proposals through the AI system, right? They said, which one should we go with? So they looked, it was Marsh or somebody versus us or whoever it was. They put them through the thing, and the AI picked up on all of the stuff we've been in business since this date. We've got, whatever it is, 80,000 employees worldwide. We're in this many countries. And it started putting all that as being big differentiators. Meanwhile, it missed all the real differentiators, which was the fact that their policy was only a 9-month policy. Ours was a whole year. I mean, when they're doing premium comparisons, that kind of matters. It missed big exclusions that was in their policy, all things that we would have crushed it on and won the account easily. They were actually picking the other agent to win because it was going after things that were just, fluff in the proposal, not stuff that mattered at all to the actual decision in the insurance program. Now, granted, we had enough of relationships there to point that out. We still ended up overcoming it. But the fact that when I looked at their AI readout, it said to go with the other agent. And I know the other agent, it was terrible compared to our option. It was more expensive. It had worse coverages, worse deductibles. There wasn't one positive insurance issue or thing about that other agent's proposal that was better than ours, yet the AI told it to go with them. So
yeah, I think the takeaway, AI is a great tool, and I know it's getting better, as every day passes. But with something as specific, what I have found as what we do, which is community association insurance in Florida, in my experience, it's just not there yet. Like it's not there. It doesn't have the subject matter expertise. It's not taking into consideration, like this one account, we went to 30 umbrella carriers. They have over 3 million in claims over the past 5 years. This AI saying, you should have a plethora of options.
Yeah.
And it's like, did you enter into the AI?
It wouldn't even matter if you did. And that's the thing. AI is going to maybe come from my job one day and take us out, but it isn't today. And I don't know that it's close enough because of the specialty nature of what we do. And I think, unfortunately, what's happening in community association world, as well as other things, is there's a lot of consolidation and there's a lot of, trying to take us almost out of the equation and make it so that it's just very transactional. And unfortunately, one of the big beefs I have with other agents that do what we do is they feed into this by making insurance a commodity sale. It's like, I could be cheaper, and they're not talking at all about ways to make the coverages better, make the deductibles better, make it work better for the client when there's an actual loss. Instead, they're just making it all about the dollars. And they make that seem like it's the most important thing. And then
they hide the exclusions. They don't disclose them on the proposal.
And for the boards, what ends up happening is that they, a lot of times it's not less expensive than where we're at. And oftentimes it's more when you factor in all the coverage issues and things like that go on, but no one catches it. And they're just like, oh, this is 5% less. This is 8% less. They're not doing apples to apples. They may think they are, but they're not. And agents are winning business based on just saying they're going to be cheap and a certain percentage down without reviewing stuff. So when you do that time and time again, then I think it takes the industry down. And then, of course, this stuff comes in with AI, and it just ripens the scenario for a lot of this where truth and facts aren't accounted for or mattered. Because again, it's hard to explain this stuff to a board. It's hard to negotiate the right deal, especially with $3 million of claims, and make sure you have the right stuff. And board members, generally maybe, look at any vendor that comes in and be, suspicious, right? The vendor, which they should be, but this kind of leans itself to a world where, they just second guess you, and it gives them an out. And I think it's frustrating. It creates more work.
Oh, I think this is just a sign of things to come.
So invest in AI is what you're saying? What do I do to hedge?
We need to invest in AI.
How do I hedge
we
against
need to create AI versions of ourselves.
Yeah, well, that's fine. AI Phil says...
That's what everyone wants. More Phil and Negar, replicating ourselves.
Now, if we do that and it's then what happens if they don't like that? It's bring
we can be nicer, better looking versions of ourselves in AI.
I would like AI to go sell Century.
I want AI to be more muscular. All right. That's it.